Candace Owens is a evil scumbag. She is a degenerate. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you told me? She has.
I'm going to play you that full clip right there of Tim Pool. If you don't know who Tim Pool is, he is the host of Tim Pool IRL. It's one of the most prominent and most popular commentary podcasts out there. He goes nuclear bomb on Candace Owens, who has, for the last 2-3 months, been deriving conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory. I'm not saying that she's right or wrong, to be honest with you. I've been really focusing on a lot of the stuff that is happening in the news with Trump and his agenda and the people who are trying to stop his agenda and the lying hypocrites. I've been trying to stay out of it, but this is just too important to share because it hits home with me on a personal level. I'm going to play for you the entire clip of him going berserk on Candace Owens. Also, Erica Kirk did an interview recently, an exclusive interview, and she talks about what Charlie taught her to avoid this kind of drama, as well as Candace Owens just dropped a major bombshell today on her Instagram, literally moments ago, and she says she has the final piece of the puzzle. I'm going to tell you what that all entails too. Stick around for that. But first, I think it's really important to get some context here on Tim's behavior before I share with you this absolute meltdown. Perhaps you didn't know this, but this is something, and this is what I mean by it hits personal with me as somebody who's a father, a parent, and a business owner. This is my media company I run with my wife. We're the best researchers on the planet, bringing you the truth every single day. And it's kind of like a mom and pop media company, but I take it very, very seriously, as you guys know. Maybe you didn't hear that this happened at his studio. So Tim posted this a few days ago, saying, "Last night a vehicle approached our property and opened fire. No one was hurt. Our security team is reviewing the incident and will be relaying the report to appropriate law enforcement. This is the price we pay for speaking out against evil." Now, I don't know about you, but if you've ever had your home or your business or anything like a, firearm pointed at you, shots fired at you, it's going to have a severe impact on your psychological state. It's going to have a severe impact on your perspective in life. It is going to remind you of your mortality faster than anything. I was about to say faster than a speeding bullet, no pun intended, but it literally will. And so I want to also share this clip right here. This impacted him so much that Tim Pool, again, this is one of the most popular podcasts out there. It's a multi-million-dollar business. This is him right here before the Candace Owens meltdown saying that his last show could be happening at the end of this month. Watch.
So where does that leave us? We have 2 weeks left in the year before we go on our Christmas hiatus. I'm not a big fan of any kind of hiatus. I would prefer just to work. But it is taxing. It is grueling, of course. And there's a lot of infrastructure here that requires me to work all day, every day, Monday to Friday, with some extra work on the weekends, usually meetings. And I'm probably going to have a stroke. My health's actually pretty good. My blood pressure is great. My resting heart rate is actually around 45. I exercise quite a bit. Haven't been able to skate in the past month or two, the holidays, and But we have to have these conversations, and I have been with the people, our contractors, people we work with, our vendors, partners. And one thing is clear: the violence will get worse. It is going to escalate. We cannot keep going as status quo. Something has to change. It may be that, as we described after the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the threat to come and shoot up our studio and our workplace, we asked, at what point do we say we can't do this anymore? The cost of running Timcast IRL Studio and the projects around it exceeds the amount of money it brings in. That's just that breaking point, isn't it, for any business? If you need $100 to, run your restaurant, but you're only bringing 90, you go out of business. The issue? The cost isn't cameras or lights. The cost is security because of the escalation. It's an artificial cost to doing business that we can't balance. We can't forego security, but we can't sustain it either. So I've had some conversations with our partners, been talking with Rumble. There may be a solution, and it's going to be rapid change very quickly. We're going to have some emergency meetings. We've already had emergency meetings for obvious reasons. And there is a possibility that the 19th is the last episode of Timcast IRL. We are doing everything we can to make sure that's not going to be the case. It's no secret that I've been frustrated and disillusioned with a lot of people in politics, but that's no reason to walk away from doing our nightly show with a tremendous success. But the cost is not just money anymore. The cost is the safety of my family, myself, and there are many ideas were floating around.
Yeah, so that really puts things in perspective. It's hard to believe, my fellow Americans. I mean, this is happening all over, not just in America, but all over the world. In the year of our Lord 2025, that your life, you may have to pay the price of your life in order to exercise your civil liberties and your constitutional right to free expression and free speech. This is the most asinine, dangerous, chaotic political landscape we've ever seen. I've ever seen in my life. If you've seen anything close to it, maybe the 60s, what happened with the counterculture and JFK and all the assassinations, Martin Luther King, Robert F. Kennedy, et cetera, et cetera. That might come close, if not be even surpass it. Not that we're comparing. But I think about this every single day. And is it worth my family? Is it worth my kids? Is it worth, me trying to help my country in this manner with my media company? At what cost? So I relate to that. I relate to what Tim Pool is saying there. And that news hit me extremely, extremely hard. And I hope he gets it figured out. But having to worry about your life, having to worry about these dangerous, insidious ghouls, what I call, I'm just going to say it because I know who it is, the most dangerous terrorist organization the earth has ever known, the Democrats, who have conducted psyop after psyop, propaganda after propaganda, indirectly fomented, architected violence, chaos, and mayhem that has led to the death of our great friend Charlie Kirk, almost to the death of our president, to Sarah Beckstrom, that poor National Guardsman in D.C. And I think the eeriest words that Tim said there was, it's only going to get worse. Until we put a stop to these heathens, it's only going to get worse. I hope he's wrong. But there's a part of me that agrees with him vehemently, 1,000,000,000%. So maybe just with this context, maybe this will give you a clue as to his outburst against Candace Owens. Now, you might be thinking, Nez, are you hating on Candace Owens? I'm not hating on Candace Owens. I think Candace Owens is extremely intelligent, extremely smart. I'm not really for or against Candace Owens, but I'll tell you what I'm against. I'm against division. I'm against what I see happening across the political landscape. This is exactly what they wanted. When I say they, I mean the evil Democrats. This is what they want. They want us to fight amongst each other. They want us to pose the question, whose side are you on? Tucker's, Fuentes, Candace, Marjorie, Trump. They want that. There's only one side I'm on. If you don't know that by now, you might be new here. But you original Nez Nation viewers who've been with me from the beginning, you know this. There's only one side I'm on. That's America. The whole purpose of this channel to make common sense go viral, to fight the propagandist media, which is a 96% negative publicity on our America First administration and Trump. I'm fighting that so our grandkids' grandchildren's grandkids can wake up in America that makes sense, that follows the Constitution, that's based on a meritocracy. Best person for the job, that's America. The best person deserves and earns the success through hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. That's America. And so that's where I stand. I have to give you warning too. I've bleeped out some of the expletives, and Tim uses a lot, but I'm just going to give you a warning. This is kind of graphic, and he gets really, really explicit. So if that's something that bothers you, then just fast forward, or, you know, if you have loved ones around, if you're listening to this on a podcast or what have you, you got your kids or something. Again, I bleeped out everything, but I just want to give you fair warning and a heads up. Here you go.
I think that the evidence we have seen thus far, Occam's razor suggests Robinson is the likely culprit. We will see what happens in the trial when evidence is presented, but there's literally no other story. Just a bunch of retards on the internet saying stupid shit. And what that does is the organization that helped get Donald Trump elected, which needs to persist, you don't got to be a fan of it, but it certainly will help get individual congressional candidates elected and stop Democrats from launching new committees and putting more people in prison like Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro. Instead, it's being gutted by psychopaths telling people to pull their donations. So when this organization burns to the ground, or whatever the happens to it, maybe they're fine. The organization that's rallying young people, causing a shift in the political leanings of a generation for the first time in history, is now in dire straits. Their leader and founder murdered, and prominent pieces of human trash are trying to destroy it. It's evil. So you know what? When someone pulls in front of my property and fires on it several times, I'm sitting here looking at these vile pieces of and thinking to myself, for what purpose will I stick my neck out if this is what happens after Charlie Kirk is killed? Candace Owens is a evil scumbag. She is a degenerate. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you told me? She has no security. She doesn't deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these conservatives out there that send me these messages have no balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't DM me like I did something for you as you cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which she's doing to me right now.
Yeah, that was the...
I'm done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who try to live there. How the am I even supposed to sell this property? And, you know, it's all lies. It's all hypocrisy. And it is for the purpose of making money. And she does not live the way other people live. And she claims she liked Charlie. She loved Charlie. And she is burning everything down that he built because she is evil.
So Candace Owens posts on X a couple of times saying, oh, there's something wrong with Tim. He's obviously troubled. He's obviously stressed. I pray for him, et cetera, et cetera. And he didn't take that too kindly. And then she actually posted this on Instagram today, saying she's now found the final piece. I'm kind of laughing here because, look, before I share you what she says about Charlie Kirk, the final piece, it's just, I think Candace Owens is extremely intelligent. I think she's a fantastic marketer. I'm not, however, here's one criticism. I feel like her resources, her research, her due diligence is sometimes compromised for the sake of topic selection, for the sake of clicks. I will say that 100%. She's a brilliant marketer. She's a brilliant content creator. And this clip proves it. Again, I think she's super smart. I think she's super intelligent. I think she did a lot to help Trump. I don't like the fact that she's kind of turned her back on Trump. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But this right here is a masterpiece of marketing. Check this out. Okay, so she said this on her Instagram story. So her first story says, yesterday was the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. In Catholic world, that's a day of holy obligation. So as soon as my podcast ended, I raced over to church for Mass. And then in her next story, she says, I distinctly prayed for a final peace. I prayed for God to give me a peace to the Charlie Kirk mystery that would be a nail in the coffin and expose the cover-up. So she prayed. I love prayer. That's fantastic. Next story. I went home and had a late dinner. Went up to lay in my daughter's bed for 15 minutes before going to down to mine. It's a little bit typo there. And thought, I'll just check the tips inbox. So she went upstairs, she prayed, and then this. It was the first email I opened. I genuinely cannot see this as anything other than an immediately answered prayer. A story from a man in the military that is about to blow this case open. Then she finalizes her story with, it feels like today will be the day that the government can no longer deny it. This is a huge claim. Charlie Kirk was assassinated and our military was involved. I can't wait to share this information with you guys today. You can't tell me that's not brilliant marketing. Now, who's not going to tune into that? You tell me. This is somebody who's getting millions and millions of views. And Tim Pool pointed this out, that her last, 20, 30 videos have all been about Charlie Kirk, have all attacked TPUSA, have all attacked Erica Kirk. I'm going to share a clip of Erica Kirk right now in a second too. So I'm just so curious. What do you guys think? Whose side are you on? Do you think Tim Pool is right? Do you think Candace Owens is right? What do you guys think? There's just that one little molecule of me that just thinks and wonders, what if she's right? But I need to see concrete, substantial, proof and evidence. I need receipts that are ironclad. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Here's Erica Kirk when asked, how does she deal with all the people criticizing her? This is what she said she does. Check it out.
From everyone, and you guys get this too.
I know you
You get the echo chamber. You get people analyzing everything about you. They think they know everything about you. They know nothing about you. They see you on TV. They think, oh, she's this, she's that. He said this, he said that. And honestly, it's Charlie saying, baby E, just stop. Stop. You don't have to answer to every single person that's accusing you of things or saying that you're doing this or grieving a certain way. Baby, just stop. You know who you are and whose you are, and I'm here. I see you. And if Charlie, and I'm taking a page out of his book, if he answered to every single critic and didn't stop and put his phone down and breathe and rest with the Lord, he'd get nothing done. He would not have built Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action.
God bless Erica Kirk, and may God bless and keep Charlie Kirk always. Tomorrow, September 10th, is going to be the 3-month anniversary. And we must never forget what happened to Charlie, because what happened to Tim, what's happened to Matt Walsh, and so many other people is absolutely despicable, and it needs to stop right now. And with your help, we can make it stop. Thank you so much for watching. Tap that thumbs up if you love America so we can help make common sense go viral. Check out these videos coming up on the screen just in case you missed them. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It doesn't cost you a thing. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.